Eisen Show. Good to see you, Coach. How are
I'm
you?
great. I'm great, man. I'm excited. Preparation is hard at work. The guys are attacking it every single day. We had a great Monday yesterday, great Sunday, and Tuesday's been awesome so far. The intensity, the attention to detail is at an all-time high, and just ready to go.
How do you lock them in? How do you do it? Or is it just the opponent does it on its own? What do you do? What do you
I
think?
mean, our team meeting we had on Monday, we talked about the Maryland game, where we're at. We moved on pretty quickly. And, if you're a player, a coach, an alumni, someone at Michigan, there's not much you have to say to get ready for this game. You're preparing for this thing 365 days a year. You don't win the game this week, right? It's based on what you do in January through now. So there's been a lot of preparation up to this point and preparing for this game. So there wasn't much to say. The focus of these players is at an all-time high. The guys, the urgency is at an all-time high, and we're just going to continue to prepare like we've been preparing for these past 5 games.
When did you? Because again, you're from the state of Kansas. You played, your college ball at Oklahoma with our guy, pardon me, Gerald
Yeah.
McCoy.
Yep.
When did you first get a taste of this rivalry where you're like, okay, I get it? When was that moment for you?
When I first got it is when I first got here in 2018. You felt the difference. And then when we went down there in 2019, it was not a good result for us. That feeling that I had in my mouth, that taste that we had was something you never wanted to feel again. Kind of an embarrassment and something that, as a program, as a university, that we felt like we could never have again. And the obviously the 21 year was magical, right? And how we, played and prepared and what happened. But I think every year when you go into this game, it's just different. You talk about preparing for a game, one game at a time, but you're always thinking about this game, right? And it's no disrespect to any opponent we play, but whether it's January, whether it's September, and you're playing Central Michigan or Oklahoma or whoever it is, New Mexico, or if it's November, once you get to this month, there's an itch, there's something that starts to happen, a feeling in your body that you're getting closer to that game, and you still got to prepare and have the one step mindset. But the theme right now for our team is starve your distractions and feed your focus. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of deterrent factors out there that can get you off of your path, and people telling you you're doing a good job, or how good you are, or what this is, and we can't even feed into any of that. We've got to really reset our focus to what we're doing and go attack.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind taking a couple minutes here to just linger on this for me to share my story, my first taste, because I'm from New York City,
Yeah.
and I didn't know anything about Michigan growing up at all. The state, didn't know the culture, didn't know the people, didn't know the school, didn't know the rivalry, had no earthly idea until I showed up on campus and was told
Hmm.
by everybody, hey, these games you're going to, Notre Dame was the first one. And,
Right.
and like, hey, enjoy it, soak it in. Michigan State, we got to win that one too. But it all does come down to the week that we play Ohio State. I'm like, really? They're like, really? And then
Yeah.
the first game was in 1986 season, and the quarterback of the team guaranteed to win, and it pissed off the head coach at the time, Bo Schembechler, and the quarterback's name was Jim Harbaugh,
Yeah.
and he did do it. They went in the horseshoe and they won it and went to the Rose Bowl. And I'm just wondering, what did Jim share anything with you when you first got there, or when you were again taking over for him that one time a couple of years ago about this? Did he share anything with you throughout
I
that
mean,
process?
not. I mean, at that point, we'd been in it a couple times
Right.
and been in the game and rivalry. The thing he just told me when I had to take over him for him 23, because we had a special team. We had a team that had been together for years. I just had Trevor Keegan text me just now, and Blake Corum, the other day, and just texting with those guys, and Trevor's like, "How you feeling? Are you feeling dangerous? Are you feeling confident?"
Nice.
And it's just different, right? And the thing that Jim told me, he said, "Just do you." He said, "Do you, and you'll be just fine. You'll have success, but just trust your training, trust the players." Yesterday we talked to the team about, trusting your technique and trust your coaches, but at the end of the day, you got to trust your brothers. And that's what this game is all about. It's trusting everything and all the work you've put into this point and winning your one-on-ones.
Sherrone Moore, head coach of the University of Michigan football program, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show, the week of Ohio State at the Big House. You got a young team, too. We all know that. And, spearheaded by an 18-year-old at quarterback who's just got a bazooka in that right arm of his in Bryce Underwood. We met him here. The whole crew could not believe how big he was and how mature he was. But he also is from the area. He's probably grown up dreaming of the moment he's going to have on Saturday. How do you get him ready for this one?
I think that he's been getting ready for this moment all his life. He's been, I'll tell you this, we got done with the game on Saturday, came back. I came in the office, started watching film. That next morning, he was already in the building watching the game with Coach Lindsey. That night, he stayed here till about 11:45 at night. Monday, he was in there in the morning before class. After practice, he was in there last night. And I just walked around this morning, and he was in there watching film again. It's like, the kid does not get rattled, but he prepares so hard and he wants to be so good. And, I can't be more proud of how he's progressed, with all the criticism and all the things and all the attention that he has as a young man. Like, he just handles it with such grace, and he's such a humble kid. He's such a great teammate. And the players, they've definitely surrounded him and taken care of him and brought him into the family. And he's earned the trust of everybody around him because of how hard he works, how hard he prepares. And it's exciting to watch. And the preparation will just have to continue. You can't prepare somebody for the moment that they walk on the field before the game. There's a feeling that you have at that moment in the game that I can tell you, I can explain to you, but I can't describe to you. Last year we walked into the Horseshoe, and Jay Sean Barham, who'd played at Maryland and played in the game before, comes to me and said, "Oh yeah, coach, this is what you're talking about. I feel it. It's different." Mm-hmm. So there's a feeling in this game that you cannot describe, that you just have to feel it, and you have to let the players feel that. It's like putting on your favorite song in your earpiece in your headset, on your AirPods before the game, or your Beats, and listening to it and getting hyped up before a game. That's the feeling that you're going to get. It's something you can't describe, and you just have to let everybody handle it and feel it themselves.
Well, moments ago, Coach, you mentioned the first few games of the year, the opponents that you had. How is Bryce different now than he was then? What's he improved in?
I think just he's a completely different player. Obviously, he always had the talent and the ability, and he can make the throws. Trust in the system, trust in himself, not doing too much. He's done a really good job of converting a lot of things with his legs, because he is athletic. He's done a really good job of going through his reads, but I think he's also found some connections within the plays, with people as well, because I think that's part of it. Him and Andrew Marsh have built a really good connection. He's built a rhythm within the tight end room and doing different things, and he just understands everything more, and he's played more games. He's 18 years old, and he's played 11 college football games now. So he's no longer a freshman. He's a starting quarterback at Michigan. He's handled it in a really great way.
Andrew Marsh. I'm texting all my guys. I'm on multiple text groups during games, not to surprise you. And I'm looking at him, number 4, on the field, and I'm texting them, and again, not to put too much pressure here, I'm saying this kid has the ability to maybe be one of the top 5 offensive players this school has ever sent to the next level. I'm serious. The way he's blossomed this year, and I understand everybody does focus rightfully on the receivers that Ohio State has and is bringing into the stadium. But this kid is really special, and I'm wondering, you put him out there on punt returns now as well, kickoffs. Also, what are you seeing out of him that you think you can get out of him on Saturday, Coach?
I think he can be extremely special. He's so smart. He works so hard. He's so tough. His story is incredible. Lost his dad from a very, very young age. And it's him, his mom, his 2 sisters, and the kid plays like he plays like he has a chip on his shoulder. He prepares that way. He's uber talented, but he's an outstanding human being, an outstanding kid. So him and Bryce have always been close throughout the recruiting process, throughout just in spring. And now the talent and the things we are seeing that happen in practice are coming to fruition in games. He has special ability. He's extremely smooth, great ball catcher, just physical in all aspects. But the sky's the limit for Andrew Marsh, and just excited about where he is in his progression as well.
Okay, in the few minutes I have left for you, I be up front. I said at the very beginning of my program before you joined that the the general sense of this conversation between the two of us is do no harm. Okay, that said,
Yeah.
you know, a 23-year-old and Max Bredesen, who's been there, done that, walked out of Maryland on crutches. Are we going to see him on Saturday? Would you be willing to share here?
Yeah, we're working towards that. It's day to day. If anybody could play in this game, with the injuries he has, it's Max. So we're working towards pushing him in that way, but we'll find out more as the week goes.
What about your running back room right now?
Yeah, Jordan Marshall's fully healthy. He'll be ready to go.
Okay.
And along with, we got Bryson Kuzdale, who played last game and played a really good game, and Micah Capana and Jasper Parker. So feel good about that running back room. You wish you had Justice Haynes, but feel good about where we are. Coach Alfred has done an outstanding job developing all those guys, and the O-line is progressing exactly how you want them to. And I feel extremely proud of this offense. The defense, obviously, and how they've played. They played so physical. They played, they're star-studded everywhere. But to start 6 freshmen on offense and 3 redshirt freshmen on offensive line is pretty incredible. And to be where we're at right now with those guys, it's a credit to how hard they've worked, and it's fun to watch, man. They keep you young. And what's really cool about this is, like, our starting left tackle, Blake Frazier's dad, played here, and watching the look in his eyes when we had the team meeting yesterday and we started talking about the game, and we started, we went to walk through. There was a different look in everybody's eyes. There was a different intensity. It wasn't tight. It was loose, but it was just extreme laser focus on the task, because they know, like, all the things in the building, everything that they see every single day, all the times we talked about this game, it's here. So there's no room for error, but there's no room to panic, right? Pressures are privilege, and as long as you're prepared, there's no real pressure. So we got to continue to just attack every day like we've been doing.
And I don't want you to reveal the playbook, but how about this as a general question? Have you been running an offense over the past several months with plays in your back pocket to set up for this game that you're about to pull out on Saturday? Is that something you can allow here in this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, I think always this game's different, so I think there's things you have ready for this game that you haven't ran or haven't, done. But, at the end of the day, we got to be us and go execute the plays that we know we can execute.
Okay, I'll take that. And in the couple minutes I have left, let's talk about the opponent, the Ohio State University. Notice by the way, I can say the words. It's not Michigan. We're not red Xing anything. Right. Okay, I can spell the letter O. It's not a problem. Not a problem for me. The other side, right. I understand.
But I stay away from all that.
I understand. I'm trying. I don't mean to drag you down to my
level. It's all good.
But they have a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback in Sayin, who's fantastic. Yeah. Jeremiah Smith has had NFL scouts drooling since he was a high schooler. What's your game plan for these guys? Just obviously, there's more too. I don't know if you're expecting to see Carnell Tate. What's your 2 cents on that front?
Yeah, we're going to prepare like they're all playing and just be ready to react if they're not. But we expect them all to play. I have the utmost respect for Coach Day and the program and the history of the program and what they've done and how they've played this year. They've been dominant throughout the whole year. Julian Sanders he's an excellent quarterback. Great timing, great precision, great job using his pocket awareness. The skill guys are elite. Carnell and Jeremiah, along with Brennan Ennis and Maxwell Clare, like, they're all really good. There's not a lot of weak spots on that. And then with the running back room, they're extremely good too. They're physical, and O-line's good. So offensively, Coach Day is always going to have a great scheme from an offensive standpoint of what they do. And defensively, Coach Patricia's come in and just made that defense even better. They play together, they play tough, they play physical. So we're going to have our game plan nice and tight and be ready to go attack.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Patricia from his times just down the road there when he was the head coach for the Lions, and he couldn't have been nicer. He donated. He donated to my charity for St. Jude. But Saturday, I don't know him anymore. You know what I mean? Like that's it. That's what this is all about. And I mean, Coach, and everybody knows that the Buckeyes are coming to the Big House with their flag. They have a flag. They probably have the pole picked out. They probably worked on that for months. They probably have the flag. It might have been stitched by somebody named Betsy Ross in Columbus. Like they are ready to bring one to the stadium and put it right in the middle of the 50-yard line. You know that. I know that. Do you mention that to the players specifically and say, not Saturday, not here? Do you say those words? Have you said those words to them?
No, we haven't talked about the flag or what happened last year or, before the year I addressed definitely just, after games what our procedure was and how we're going to take care of business. But, I can't try to make it about vendettas or what they possibly could do or try to do. We know what their mindset is and their goal is, but we know what our mindset and goal is, and we've just got to go execute and play our style of football on Saturday.
And do you talk about the stakes, about college football playoff opportunities and things like that? Have you voiced that?
Yeah, I mean, I think usually, during the season, we don't talk a lot about the goals, and I don't want them to be obsessed with the goals and the outcomes. I just want them to be obsessed with the process of how we have to do things and how we have to go execute. But I thought it was important on Monday for them to come to fruition of like, guys, this is the opportunity that you put yourself in to be able to be in this position to possibly get in the college football playoff and possibly go to the Big Ten championship, depending on what happens with the Washington-Oregon game. So they know that and they understand the stakes, but I also don't want them to lose sight of how they've prepared to this point to go, be in this position. So we definitely talked about it and they know about it. And I'm sure they're all on their phones because they all are. You try to eliminate that as much as you can, but that's what it is. That's how college football is now. That's how this day and age is. The Gen Alpha crowd, or I guess they call them, or whatever it is. Like, that's how it is. So our guys are completely, they have knowledge of where they're at, what they need to do. But at the end of the day, we just got to go prepare. And it starts with a great day today.
All right. I finished this interview with something that I rarely do. I don't think I've ever done it before. Is there anything I can do for you? What can I do to help? Anything?
Just keep beating you, Rich. You're the man.
Okay.
I appreciate all your support, your continued support, your positivity, your blessings. Pray for us. Pray for everybody. Everything you do is top notch, first day, first class. And, we're just excited and we're glad that you're an alumni of Michigan.
Thank you.
You represent us in the best way.
I appreciate that. I wasn't fishing. I literally meant, is there anything I can do?
There's no need to fish, man. You are the man.
Thank you. If there's anything I can do, you just let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to be writing checks that I hope you'll let me cash.
That's right.
Figuratively, okay? I want everyone to know that.
You want this, you got that. No way, watch them walk right past you. Run fast while you have the chance.